In this lesson, we're going to use the pen tool to create the paths we're going to need to illustrate our lamp. In order for this lesson to go smoothly, I will assume you're proficient with this tool and can make paths quickly using the appropriate hotkeys so that it isn't necessary to keep going back to the Tools palette. If you can't, I highly recommend you stop at this point and first complete the lesson I've included on this CD entitled Pen and Paths Tutorial, which you can find inside the Extras folder. However, if you think you're ready, click on the Paths palette and bring it forward, and let's begin. First off, it's important to note that this particular lamp illustration is being done in elevation, which makes our job a lot easier than if we were doing it in perspective. Perspective drawings can increase the number of paths dramatically. The second thing to note is that the lamp is symmetrical, which simply means that both sides, left and right, are identical, which, as you will soon see, is another good thing since it cuts our work in half. Let's start by getting the pen tool. Make sure the path option is selected. That's the middle button. The rubber band is turned on. The Auto Add and Delete box is checked, and the Add to Path box is selected. Then zoom in on the top of the lampshade near the vertical guide. Start the path just to the left of the guide by simply clicking to put in the first anchor point. Then move around the lampshade, remembering to constrain the path along the horizontal lines, since the lamp is in elevation and those lines are supposed to be perfectly straight. When you get to the corners, put in a slight radius so they're not quite so harsh. At this point, it might be necessary to zoom in, Command plus on the Mac, Control plus on a PC, in order to create the small radius we need. You can use the spacebar to navigate around if necessary. Extend the inside direction lines on the anchor points that define the left edge of the shade to make sure the path is straight. When you get to the bottom edge of the lampshade, put in another anchor point, again just to the left of the vertical guide. Then deselect from the path, and then turn off your guides. This will leave you with a path segment that represents half of the lampshade. It should look something like this graphic. When it does, continue on and do the same thing for the neck, the body, and the base. Noting that when you're doing the neck and the base, those paths should extend into the shape slightly wherever they overlap the other parts of the lamp. When you get done, you should have 4 separate path segments that account for the entire left side of our lamp. Now, being symmetrical, the right side of the lamp should be exactly the same as the left. Keeping in mind, of course, this is after all a hand-drawn pencil sketch and probably won't be exactly the same. All we need to do is duplicate these paths, flip them, put them in position, and join their respective ends. This will give us left and right sides that match each other perfectly, even if the pencil sketch doesn't. To do that, all you need to do is get the Path Selection tool, that's the black arrow, drag over all the path segments to select them, hold down the Option key, Alt for PC, then click on the paths and drag to the right while holding down the Shift key to constrain the horizontal movement. Move the duplicate paths over to the right a little. Let go of the mouse and then the Shift key. Go to the Edit menu, Transform Path, and flip horizontal. Then, position the paths so they line up as closely as possible to the pencil sketch, keeping in mind to hold down the Shift key when you move left or right so the paths stay horizontally aligned. Once you have 2 sets of paths, left and right, take the pen tool and connect the top and bottom ends of the shade, the neck, the body, and the base. Save the paths in the Path Palette options, calling it lamp. Then save the entire file to the hard drive.